Hey everybody, welcome to a brand new episode of the Irish Wrestling Podcast. This week we're back. This week it's the Road to Forbidden Door. It's coming up this Sunday. Probably the biggest pay-per-view for AEW this year. Hopefully it'll be one of their best. Mark is just back from his travels. He was over in Fairfax. He was over in Allentown, not the Allentown from The Hangover, just Allentown, Pennsylvania, for Dynamite and Collision tapings. His first was this Mark, was your first time attending an episode of Dynamite and an episode of Collision?
First
right?
time attending an episode of Dynamite or Collision or a technical AEW branded show in America. I've been at Ring of Honor before under Tony Khan's banner, but never in America. Yeah.
How was it like for people like who are expecting, anybody who went on the pre-sale today as we were recording got tickets for Collision or for Dynamite and Collision for Cardiff ahead of it, All In, to go to
it was awesome.
a TV taping for AEW?
Yeah, like it was like I mean, obviously, like given that we're discussing AEW, you seek out the most intelligent of the Irish Wrestling Podcast Network people to come in and enlighten the audience and talk about the benefits of AEW, because it's a far more sophisticated product than the simpletons you had covering Clash of the Castle a few days ago. The children of Irish Wrestling Podcast, Colin and the brain dead Corey Brennan. So now we've got the brains trust back together again. Two men who shared a bed in Glasgow. And
I swear I didn't snore
one
that
day
much.
horizontal in a bed hugging a pillow. But anyway, that's
these things happen.
Yeah, these things happen. But to give full context story, like you're aware, flew from Dublin last Thursday to Glasgow. The 3 nights in Glasgow, media junkets, SmackDown, Celtic Park tours, pints with Jerry, Clash at the Castle, up at the crack of dawn, fly to Dublin, get to Dublin, 6-hour delay on my flight. Fly from Dublin to New York, get to New York, have 2 days of meetings with wrestling-based companies and people over there, as well as hanging out with some friends, and doing ice baths and holistic things like that.
Oh, yeah.
And traveling down from New York to Fairfax, Virginia, flying into Dulles International Airport, whereby when I landed, I was also in the same airplane as Hook and Taz. Hook looks homeless, Taz looks angry. I landed in collecting my luggage. I was beside Tony Schiavone, who's a small fat man, but anyway, he was very friendly. And I got a Link taxi, of all things. They don't do regular taxis in Washington, and Uber wouldn't accept my phone for whatever reason. So in a fit of panic, I downloaded the Link app. From there, I was transported to the AEW Talent Hotel, where I was put up by AEW, which is very, very kind of them. It's hugely appreciated, really, really good of them. The Hyatt Regency Dulles. From there, I got to interact with some really cool people. So when I was checking in, there was a very tall man with no hair, and he was wearing a Switzerland jersey. And I said, "That's a very nice jersey. I hope they lose tonight." And he said, "Thank you." And it was Claudio Castagnoli. And that was the end of our interaction. He had no interest in talking to me. It was very funny. And Brian Danielson said, "Where are you, from Scotland?" I said, "Technically, yes. However, I identify as Irish for some reason." And then I said, "Listen, I'm obviously a big fan. I'm here, like, been put up by the PR team and whatnot for the night. Can I cover for various different outlets?" And he said, "Oh, it's very cool." And I expressed my gratitude for what he's done in the business, and talked about our prevailing similar interests that the two of us have, be it around our views on life, views on technology, the benefits of holistic practices such as meditation and ice baths, or lest you end up like Jerry Crocked down in Cove, unable to move his head half the time, with severe sciatic nerve issues and neck problems. But anyway, so a nice time with Brian Danielson. Spoke to 1 or 2 other members of the staff and crew, Chris Harrington and other people. Then that evening, I wasn't able to go. The wrestlers were leaving about 2:00. I didn't have to get to the show until about 5, and I was meeting some people there that I've been put in touch with from Dax, Hardwood, and Cash Wheeler. Put me in touch with a few friends of theirs who were living in the area. So I met up with them. Got Lee Petrie, who's a really, really good guy. He's coming over to Dublin before and after All In Wembley. His wife's from Wexford, so a really cool guy. And chatting to a few of his friends who are running a promotion down there and the successful run they're having down there. Yeah, it was really, really good. It was really well looked after by AEW. Really good seats. The arena was, I'd say, about 8/10 of the way full. Like, it was an arena for, I'd say, it could fit about 7,000 or 8,000. There was at least 6,000 there. Minimum at the different points of the show. There was more or less. It was based in George Mason University in Fairfax, Virginia. You forget that, like, outside of these big metropolises like Chicago or New York, where you've got public transport aplenty, pretty much everything outside of that in America, you're reliant on getting yourself to and from these places by driving to it. So when I arrived, I was like, geez, this is a million miles out of the way. But everybody's arriving by their thousands. There's huge car parks everywhere. And they were kind of like, oh, this is what we do in America. We don't have buses. We don't have trains and planes. unless you're in the big metropolis, the very popular metropolis, even in like LA and whatnot, you end up driving anywhere as it is. So it was amazing to see, really good atmosphere, really cool atmosphere, and it was significantly better crowd atmosphere and engagement for what was actually being put on in front of them than the crowd at Clash at the Castle before. I think me and you were both in agreement, particularly on the actual Clash at the Castle show. It was fairly boring for a lot of it. Like the two of us were on our phones a lot. Like just like, yeah, we'll record this, we'll do this and that and the other. But this show in person, it engaged you throughout. Like it doesn't come across on television how good it actually was in person. When I watch AEW Dynamite, I don't like the LED boards. I don't like the new set they have. But in person, it's really cool and really impressive. It looks really good. The quality of the screen, the size of it, the whole setup looks amazing. It looks first in class. When I watch
the shiny lights,
sorry,
but the shiny lights.
Yeah, but no, it's not even. It's really grand, but it's not like ostentatious. It doesn't feel like a television set. Whereas I watched it on TV, it almost looks like it's a television set that the wrestling, kind of like WWE, still is. But I don't like. Didn't have that raw grittiness. Like, I mean, you can get rid of the LED lights and whatnot, but the whole setup felt really, really cool. Justin Roberts and Arcadiora, they're really, really engaging throughout. They're really cool to me, by the way, both of them. Chatting to them all through the weekend and DMing me afterwards, thanking me for coming. So yeah, they're really, really good and kind of keeping the crowd going during commercial breaks and whatnot. Tony Khan, come on, thank you for coming. Thank you. God bless you. God bless you. God bless you. Before, after the show. It was brilliant. The whole show throughout was really, really strong. It was a really, really strong episode of Dynamite, and then we led into the third hour. I was kind of jet lagged from the amount of travel I've been doing and stuff as well, so I found Rampage was kind of tough to get through. I didn't pop as much for like the Willow match or the Shingo Takagi stuff, with AR Fox and even stuff with Private Party and whatnot. It was actually quite good. So, and Leo Rush in that same episode of Rampage too. So it was brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Then got transported back to the AEW Talent Hotel that night. I had a good chat with Mike Mansouri. He's the VP of production for AEW, and a few other people there, Coach Irby as well. So it was amazing. It's funny seeing the different habits of different talent members and what they do with the sunsets.
When the cameras aren't on them, like
the cameras aren't on, even the security members and stuff, like what they do and stuff. So because this hotel was miles away from Fairfax, Virginia.
You were talking to the Beast, weren't you?
Which Beast? Oh, the
security Beast, the security guard with the Beast.
They're all you'd recognize them all. They're all fucking massive. But anyway, it's funny because the hotel was a good bit away. It's like a half an hour drive from where it was.
Oh, really? That far away?
Yeah, because it's again, that's like 20 minutes in the car, 20 minutes, and they were getting buses to and from, all transported to and from the team. I think it was like a team. It was like watching like a team leave for a match. Is the best way to describe it. They had a couple of massive buses, and they'd be collected, brought from the hotel to there, whatever point. Which is good. It's good. It's good to see that kind of level of organization. They got free flights, they got free hotel, they got free transports to and from the arena. They're completely looked after, catered for in terms of food and all that stuff. So the wrestlers couldn't ask for more with AEW, just in terms of how well they're looked after, and insurance things like that as well. Which obviously isn't the case with WWE because none of those things are provided. You've all got to source all that individually yourself unless you're abroad. But anyway, it's funny just in the evening because they were so far away. There was no fans in the hotel, bar this one big Mark. So there's no
Mark
fans in the hotel.
By name, Mark by nature.
Yeah, so yeah, exactly. It was a perfect name for a wrestling fan. But anyway, that evening I actually had a bit of work to do when I got back, not wrestling related. I'm doing an MBA at the minute, so I got back to the hotel and the Wi-Fi in the room was pretty shit. So I was down. The hotel bar closed at midnight, but they had brought a load of drink back from wherever they were. So they were kind of beside me, and I was sitting. I was there before they'd got back. I was doing some work, and they all came down and were having a few drinks. And a few cool people like Carl Fletcher and whatever came over and just kind of brought me along because I've been chatting to them beforehand. They knew me from seminars back in the day. So I got to hang out with a few of them for a bit, and then again I was up at the crack of dawn. Shared a taxi with one or two wrestlers to the airport. Got to have I broke bread with a couple of them over a Dunkin' Donuts in the morning in International Dulles Airport. Which was cool. And then flew back to Queens, the same people. Really, really good bunch of lads. And flew back to Queens. And then collected my luggage from a friend's house I was staying with, and got a train down to Allentown, Pennsylvania. That show wasn't as good. It was a recorded show. It's obviously been well publicized, the issues around, say, Ultimo Guerrero and his unwillingness to do a number of spots with Kazuchika Okada. The show itself, it didn't feel as big as the night before. It feels like Collision's gone from feeling like its own standalone entity. It feels like another episode at a lower level version of Dynamite. The original Collision had its own set that was different to Dynamite set, and it was brilliant. I love the setup, I love the presentation, I love the feel, I love the commentary on it. I don't like it anymore. I don't like Bobby Cruise. He looks like an old fat guy from Ring of Honor. He looks like with hair plugs in. He looks terrible, and in person sounds terrible. I don't like Tony Schiavone as a lead announcer. I wish to convince Ian Riccoboni, who just refuses to work Saturdays. Just pay him more, give him a full-time contract, get him on board.
But he was doing interviews with people on the
ramp. But he's from Allentown, so they brought him in for the show. But he's got a day job during the week where he's working on the so that's why he's commentary full time. He does Ring of Honor. He wants his weekends to hang out with children. So I think he's the best 2 or 3 top lead announcers in the game. So just pay the man, get him on board for God's sake. It didn't feel as big. It was about there's about 6,000 to 7,000 the night before. There was about 3,000 to 4,000 here that night, and they didn't have the same energy of kind of excitement for the show either. They were quite happy to sit down and watch it. And there's a lot more younger children there who are quite happy with families to sit down and just take it in.
Was it an earlier show? Was it an early show? Did it start early in the day?
No, well, it started by 5, so maybe it did. Yeah, so it would have done. Yeah, whereas the night, so it was finished by about 7 or so. And then I got a train back up to New York. But the show itself, when I watched it back, is actually a lot better than what I felt in the arena. It's kind of the inverse of sometimes the shows. Kind of the show night before, I thought it was unbelievable in person. The atmosphere was electric, but it didn't really come across on the TV as well. Even the content, what was being done was good. Like the sound and noise in the arena was brilliant the night before, but when it just out of the presentation the night before didn't come across as well when I watched it back. And it was the inverse of this to a degree.
Well, saying there was people saying that maybe they turned the sound down on the audience mics, and the in-ring mics were louder than they should have been because for Collision they said you could hear Ultimo Guerrero breathing really, really heavy on TV where you shouldn't normally.
It just felt and looked at you, but it was all right. It was okay. Like it was a really cool experience, and I was really well looked after again. I mean, I think sometimes I think a lot of feedback's already been given to Tony Khan about that show in particular, and I think you're probably going to see like an unbelievable Collision show next week as a result, because that's the way it seems to go for whatever reason. You have one shit show, and then you have one unbelievable show. So I don't know. I think they just need
I'd say it is different when they're pre-taping something that they're.
Yeah, exactly. But I also find with the shows that they're pre-taped, there seems to be less onus or effort put in to a degree, and like that's not by the wrestlers, but in terms of the creativity and the storyline, the production. And maybe it's because it was a Thursday rather than a Saturday, and you've got people who may have traveled from the Northeast in America down to one of the shows, may have traveled to Dynamite the night before, and those same people who didn't travel to Collision. So maybe that's part of it. Yeah. So maybe different audience, different people kind of coming for a Thursday night rather than a Saturday night. But it was really good, really, really good. So, but then I traveled back to New York that evening, straight to JFK Terminal 7, had an overnight flight, right back crack of dawn in Dublin Airport, and then straight to a wedding down in Wicklow, and spent 2 days down there, and straight back to college today. So I haven't slept in about a week and a half. There you are.
Yeah. So it was all worth it, though.
It's all worth it. There's another big week.
Look where it got you.
It's all exactly. This is it. Half the WWE Raw roster have been killed in my absence. They've been shot in somebody's been shot in the temple.
He's back to life, though.
Joe Gacy and no, I haven't seen him. So Joe Gacy and Dexter Loomis were on the rampage, and they had a smoke machine to hand as well. They had a smoke machine under their feet, while also having a blue light follow behind Uncle Howdy, very fortuitously following him as he walked up the corridor. I don't know where they got a smoke machine from.
So he didn't like it.
Murder people. Like it?
Did you not like it?
Fucking ridiculous. Fucking nonsense. Where do they go next? What do they do next?
Kill people?
Are they going to have a match? How are these people who are committing murders then going to be licensed wrestlers? What happens when they get turned out after one match to be just like wrestlers who happen to wear masks? How long does their aura progress? Does it last 2 matches? Does it last a pay-per-view cycle? Does it last 2 or 3 pay-per-view? And then at what point do you keep squashing the whole roster? It's the same as The Fiend. It's the same as the previous Bray Wyatt problems. It's not wrestling. It's fucking nonsense.
Yeah, well, it's like it's not. I don't think from what I heard, it's going to be supernatural at all. It's
what is it then? If it's not,
they're just going to be psychopaths.
Sorry, not gobshite Corey Brennan, right? he was coming out with absolute nonsense online. It's not supernatural. It's fucking just people killing people. It is killing people by supernatural weirdos who fucking like leave smoke all over the floor and they wear creepy masks and they've got blood splattered on the wall after murdering people. That is not just beating people up. That is committing crimes in a spooky manner. And they have if it's enemy suggests it's not spooky, they're fucking idiots and fed apologists. It was nonsense. Thank God Tuesday nights have Joe Hendry on it. That's all that matters.
Yes. Well, long term, I don't know, like, but definitely.
I mean, well, listen, 99.9% of NXT is garbage. But once Joe Hendry comes on the screen, that gives you something to watch at least. Thank God, because they've ruined Sean Spears, they've ruined Ethan Page, whatever, Brian Pillman Jr., these other people, Lexus, Porsche, King. Whatever his name is, Lexus, Toyota, Grand Hybrid. There you are. King, right? Okay. Why is he called that? God knows, shit.
It's play on two different names. One's his sister's.
Anyway, NXT is fucking bollocks. Thank God they've got this TNA.
Anyway, stop being AEW, Mark. We're not here to talk about WWE. We're here to talk about AEW Forbidden Door. Now that you've calmed down and you're still, awake since probably Thursday week since we landed in Glasgow.
I'm putting great entertainment for our viewers. I am marked improvement from that inbred Egypt from Athai. Another inbred Egypt from Tala.
Talatonga,
yes. Or Longatonga, as he's been called. Longatoa or whatever he's been called.
They say, well, they're
Talatonga and Longaloa.
He's really, really tall.
I wonder what it's going to be.
I don't know. Is there anybody really, really tall in the family?
And you're going to have a load of people who've never seen New Japan before in their life, or never seen MLW in their life, or any other promotion outside WWE. Oh my God, Hikuleu's coming. Hikuleu. The same people who are like popping over Jacob Fatu. Jacob Fatu is unbelievable, but these people are pretending they've known him for years when they've never watched anything in their life. These false fools who pretend give interviews with people in person and pretend they're knowledgeable. They're clowns, all of them. I'm back.
Anyway, Forbidden Door this Sunday. Obviously we're going to have Dynamite and Collision beforehand, but we have 10 matches so far advertised. I'm pretty sure there's going to be about like 13 or 14, including the buy-in. It's going to be a really, really long show on a Sunday night. Are you going to stay up to watch it?
No.
I'm
not. No, I'm going to bed.
Did you get your tickets for Collision and Dynamite in
I didn't.
Cardiff?
No, and I'll tell you, fucking Ticketmaster are a shower of wanks. I had all the pre-links, everything on time, speaking with people in AEW who noted there was nothing wrong with their end. The links were the Ticketmaster people who were DMing me the same links AEW are sending me. When you get to the top of the queue, it would just wait for you to input the code for hours. So I had to leave at 10:30. So I've been sitting there for half an hour waiting to buy tickets. Then I couldn't. But anyway, it's all in hand.
We'll get there.
Yeah. Did you get tickets, Jerry?
Not yet. No, I'm waiting. I'm holding out hope.
Good man.
The pre-sale tickets are different. Like the location of pre-sale tickets weren't as good as
I haven't said that the VIP ones, like the very front rows, are about £600, but like still a fraction of the cost of what they were for Clash.
Oh yeah, Jesus Christ!
I mean,
the ones I was looking at,
you're getting a VIP backstage ramp walk and all that stuff. Like, and it's the first arena show in the UK. Like £600 for a front row ticket. Like, it's probably not the worst in the world.
That's nothing. Well, like the ones I was looking at today, it's the entrance ramp, and it's literally the second seat from the front. So whoever's sitting in the front, which is normally family or somebody, you're right behind them at the entrance ramp. Is for £600. Like, that's nothing. We're not going to cost about $3,000 for WWE.
We're not going to get them. But I mean, like,
I wouldn't be going that.
I'm just saying, like, they're not
down afterwards.
Everything.
It's only a small arena. It only fits 5,000 people for shows like that. So
it'd be good. I like that sometimes. I thought like the big thing from Clash of the Castle was when we were commenting, particularly on the second night because we were in the kind of middle tier, how removed we all felt from it all. So it didn't feel like a sports arena, like where you have like a basketball arena where it's kind of enclosed and all.
No, it's not.
It was like a big circular dome, and we were like the ring. Unless you were in the first tier of seats on the floor, like everything else felt a good bit removed because we were on kind of the ground level tier the night before, and even then we still felt quite removed from the action and the kind of the chants and stuff.
It's like the O2, like just a little smaller. It's not designed for sports at all. It's designed for shows on a stage, and you're just facing like
that was another thing from Fairfax during the week. The immediate it was almost like Dortmund Stadium. Tottenham Stadium, where they got really like steep tiers, and it feels like the noise from all around is on top
Yeah,
of it.
yeah.
So I really add to the atmosphere. So like hopefully the Cardiff Arena is the same. If it's 5,000, but it's designed in a way where it's more compact and
Yeah, well,
yeah,
it's designed for sports because I was looking through their website there, and there's a lot of sport. Like even WWE are going to be there in their tour in October,
brilliant.
November time, so it's
Brilliant. I
definitely
mean,
designed for more stuff like that.
noise is better than like worrying about optics of having two or three
Yeah,
tiers. You get a low roof, focus on the action, get bloody loud people in there. That comes across better.
yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
So anyway, uh, Forbidden Door, 10 matches so far. I'm sure we'll get a few more after Dynamite and Collision have taped. I'll go from on the list I have. I'll go from the bottom up to the main event. So the Learning Tree, Chris Jericho, Big Bill, Brian Keith against Samoa Joe, Hook, and Shibata. How did this play out on TV as you were watching it, in a live audience whenever they finally made this match
It was
official?
quite good. It was quite good in person. But it was quite good, like as an escalation of a rivalry, but like wasn't sure why it was on Forbidden Door. Still not. The Shibata, fair enough, like he was one of the big surprises of the first Forbidden Door, right? That makes sense. If it's gonna be like, they've got Will Ospreay, who the last couple of years was New Japan representative against Thrift Strickland. That makes sense, like a one-off year. If they did like Shibata versus Chris Jericho or something, but having like 5 other pure AEW guys, it feels weird, and I feel it's kind of forced. Like I like the Samoa Joe, Hook, Shibata stuff. I actually really like the Learning Tree.
Yeah, it's
fucking brilliant.
Like a tree. It's actually growing on me. Like I hated it at the start.
Yes.
Come on.
Yes.
Yeah, I really hated it at the time at the start, but
the big redwood. He's all man. He's all
yeah.
man.
I'm here for Brian Keith. I just like how angry he is for no reason.
Yeah, I love Chris Jericho. Even like his promo midweek in Fairfax, like things not working for him, man. I was all the smart marks could go suck a dick. You'll have to edit that.
Fuck them. Did you feel like, I forgot to ask you about Collision, did it feel like it wasn't built towards Collision Forbidden Door? It was like a build for the trios division, because this match seems to be like it's whoever wins gets a trios title.
Yeah, shot. It didn't. I thought it made the trios division feel important, but I don't like the trios division. So I mean, it kind of put emphasis on the division, which is important itself. But having it 1 week on, were they going to forget about it next week? Or how long going to last for? Is it going
to nearly every match on Collision, or nearly
I had a thread.
80% of the segments was
but they've obviously decided, all right, this episode we're going to focus on next couple of weeks, just going to cycle it in and cycle
build
it out.
Towards
I mean, like anytime Kazuchika Okada appears, it's brilliant. I wish he'd have a match every single week as like a Okada segment, and stop turning him into this smart marky shut up bitch, because they're trying to be cutesy and cool, as some people have it is, and like it's not him. And like the heat from Jack Perry's already disappeared, because like as Mark Briscoe was saying, do you see Mark Briscoe midweek in his promo?
Yeah,
get your ass out of here, Jack Perry. Like I was sitting beside Papa Briscoe.
Oh really?
And his mother as well, and they're kind of a couple of rows in front of me in Fairfax. But like, that was brilliant. But like, what does that do for Jack Perry, who came back as his ultimate heel, who took out the boss and then could disappear for a bit? And like
it's after really dwindling down.
The Young Bucks were like taking over the show, but then Tony Khan came back and took over the show. But then Tony Khan's back, but at the same time, Christopher Daniels also has power. What does Christopher Daniels do? He keeps disappearing. What's that about?
Is Tony back on TV? Is he?
Yeah, I think back. So. Well, he was back. Oh, it's a great time. Welcome to Fairfax.
But that's not. That doesn't show up on TV. That's just to hype up the crowd, like, because they did that.
Well, he did that. He drove Darby Allin to work one day.
And then he drove away on TV, but he was obviously backstage. Like, as a TV character, he's not on TV like at the minute.
Christopher Daniels. I don't understand if Christopher Daniels is an interim EVP. What does that mean?
What's an interim champion mean?
I don't know. Well, I understand what an interim EVP is. Like, is he going to contest somebody for the EVP title down the road, or what?
Who knows? Who fucking knows? Maybe he'll face Jungle Boy, Jack Perry, for it, and Jungle Boy become EVP as well.
That'd be fucking
Give it to him.
That'd be fucking sad.
You loved him.
Jack Perry's a prick.
Someone who's not a prick, someone you talked to last week about your breathing techniques and meditation, was Brian Danielson, who is facing Shingo Takagi. I hope I said that name right. what's your feeling towards this match? Is it just a dream match for Danielson to tick
I
off the
didn't.
bucket list?
I don't think it got the necessary acclaim because it was. I think it should have been something that was a huge moment, but didn't feel like a huge moment in the arena, or nor did it feel like a huge moment on television. I'll watch it back. It's something that should have Bryan Danielson and Shingo Takagi, like these two different dragon characters come together.
Yeah.
But obviously, it's going to be fucking ridiculous. But yeah, I just didn't feel like that big a moment at the time. Bryan Danielson faced Shingo Takagi after he got released by WWE back in 2011, like a very brief 2-week period, whatever, where he was technically unemployed.
Yeah.
So yeah, they've had a match before, and that was amazing. I actually watched that the other week. Yeah, I'm expecting huge things from that, but it just doesn't feel. I don't know, across the beat, the presentation, the build, the excitement, the crowd doesn't feel like the same. I don't know. Oh my god, as a lot of Forbidden Doors do, even though you know it will be incredible. It doesn't feel like half as exciting as him versus Okada last year, for example.
Yeah. Do you think the AEW audience are wise to who Shingo is? Like, is he more
Yeah,
as well known as Okada was last year? Do people know him?
I'm not to the same degree, but he's not the same profile of candidate either. But I mean, it's yeah, I don't know. I mean, Okada has a more of a worldwide appeal and more of a star quality about him as well, where Shingo Takagi is quite short in person.
Is
So
there anybody else out there you could have put him in with, like
really.
Tanahashi, something or somebody like that?
No.
You know, for name recognition wise, more than anything else, for to be a Forbidden Door.
Doesn't appear in the card at all anywhere.
I know, yeah. Well, he's going to be around somewhere, like, but he won't be wrestling.
No, please not. No, I think Bryan Danielson and Shingo Takagi is probably the best match you can do in that front. I'd like to have maybe seen Bryan Danielson versus Gabriel Kidd would have been cool.
Yeah.
Or a third match with Zack Sabre Jr. Or there's a few different options there, but yeah.
It's true. Is it true that he was around? Was he around last week for tapings? He was backstage. There was a report that Gabe Kidd was around AEW last week.
No. Sorry, he wasn't there.
No. Mike Bailey was he? He was apparently backstage
there on the Allentown show, visiting backstage apparently. Yeah, but I mean, I don't think it wasn't taking the Talent Hotel the night before or anything. So, yeah.
Okay. Cool. Somebody else you bumped into? You were speaking to MJF as well, weren't you? During your time there, he's facing Hechicero.
Hechicero, that'd be cool.
That should be good.
You watched MJF versus Jungle Boy back in 2020. If you watched MJF versus Darby Allin a couple of years ago, MJF is one of the best technical wrestlers in the world. He just doesn't want you to know it. And every so often he'll just break it out and he'll have an outstanding match. I think, given that he's publicly, as part of his shtick is to kind of badmouth New Japan, or has been for a few years, having the CMLL act as well, we'll kind of tie into that. The only thing I didn't like was that on Dynamite, MJF, having been teased to face Hechicero later in the show, came out and took out Brian Cage, Toa Leona, Khan, and Hechicero pretty much single-handedly. I was like, well, what's the point in having a match now? If you're just beating them 4 men on one, you don't need to fight them one-on-one. That'll be class. Like, Hechicero is unbelievable when he's allowed to be. But like his match with Matt Menard at the weekend last week wasn't great. It wasn't great live. But yeah, I think it'll obviously be highly entertaining, and the fact that it's on Long Island, that's what they say over there. In the UBS Arena, that'll add another 3,000 or 4,000 ticket sales, no doubt, this week. So yeah, it'll be.
What did you make of the standoff between him and Ospreay? What did that feel like live?
Yeah, that's real horny stuff. I predict it'll be him versus Ospreay at All In.
Yeah, that seems to be the thing now.
I think you'll have Swerve versus Hangman and Ospreay versus MJF, and that's your big four. I think that's going to be a real statement to AEW.
Who main events it though?
Oh, Swerve Hangman.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Really?
Oh, yeah. For the world title, yeah. Yeah.
I'm not. Well, I won't give away your predictions yet for those matches. Like with the. We'll get into that in a minute when we talk about those matches before we give away our predictions for it. Jeff Cobb is also advertised for a match. He's defending the New Japan television title, man. But it's not. It's currently listed, but he hasn't got an opponent listed.
Where's it? What's your source? Who's
I have a couple of sources there. I looked on a couple of pages. I'm currently looking at Wikipedia because it's all one list. Yeah, that's not my source. I've seen that a few times. That's the actually seen
he's asked for a few times. He's publicly put it out there, but I don't think he has a match.
Well, it's listed. Well, he's listed as defending the New Japan television title. So
whether happens in a match, but I think the United Empire should have been factored in more than they have been. But Yeah, I don't know. Who would you put up against?
Jeff Cobb.
Danny Garcia.
Yeah, why not? Daniel
Yeah,
Garcia
probably
deserves
the
a
only person
chance.
he's obviously features on television regularly. They'd be kind of given the injury profile. If Jay White and Kazuchika Okada aren't going to be facing New Japan guys,
Brian Cage maybe because of the fucking Will Ospreay, Brian Cage.
Brian Cage, when's the last time he's won any sort of wrestling match?
Doesn't matter.
Again,
He had
he
a
constantly gets put
fucking
into positions like
he still had a title match at the last week. So
yeah, I still don't understand why. Because he got a
was it a good? Wasn't a good match?
Fine. There's like, it's obviously they put a lot of effort in, but it was like I don't know, to fit a lot of stuff in by the numbers, a lot of New Japan stuff, a lot of indie stuff. That didn't blow me away as much as I should have really done. But I don't really like Brian Cage. That's probably just me though.
Yeah, he's all right.
Yeah.
John Moxley is facing Night. I always mess up his name.
Atsuya.
Yes.
Naito.
I'll just call him Naito. New Japan
Naito.
World Title. The rematch.
Naito.
You think he's winning it again? Running it back? Yeah.
Yeah. So Moxley was brought in as like a high level start, essentially build up and put over younger talents, which he did by and large. And this time next year, you'll probably see him versus Shooter or something at Forbidden Door, which would be brilliant. And you'll see the likes of Ren Narita, Yuta Tsuji, Gabe Kidd, all these guys will have their own matches on Forbidden Door. They're just not there yet. So John Moxley is being cycled out of AEW as perfect foil for these younger talents and saves Tetsuya Naito having to work too hard for a number of months, give him a bit of a break as well because he's fucked.
Was he? So why would they give him the strap again? Why would you put him back on it?
It's all building for G1 and stuff in the background. This you need your world champion in the G1.
Who's winning that?
I think Takeshi will go far. I don't think he'll win it. I think you'll probably see somebody. I say Yoda Tsuji will probably win it.
I'd love to see Takeshi win it.
But he's not going. He's a DDT wrestler. He's not a New Japan wrestler.
Still
people need to put respect on that lion mark logo, and I think it'll be Yoda Tsuji, Yuya Uemura, Ren Narita, Shota Umino, Gabe Kidd, Aaron Hanare will go far. I quite like him. There's a lot of people there who do quite well. Yeah, they're all of the same kind of ilk, just waiting to go next level.
Yeah. Should be good. We'll see what happens. Zack Sabre Jr. and Orange Cassidy.
Yes.
Yes. This is a match of the night show stealer, right?
Do you want to know a secret?
Go on.
They're actually pals.
Oh yeah, I know.
They are having a drink together of all things.
Don't spoil it. Kayfabe, Mark. Come on.
Yeah.
Did Cassidy pay for anything, or did he keep his hands in his pocket?
I've no idea who provided what. But anyway, just hands in his pockets.
Come on.
Zack Sabre Jr. will keep doing his bollocks thing where he was calling Bryan Danielson Dragon Bollocks. He's calling this guy Orange Bit Bollocks. Sweetheart, darling, that kind of stuff. It'll be absolutely excellent. It'll be really, really thoroughly enjoyable. It's a perfect match for Orange Cassidy as well, who's now being a bit more appreciated. I think even though he was kind of pushed reasonably well last year, but I think now he's kind of given a bit more of his kudos this time of year.
He's away. He's gone from. Well, I'm presuming he's gone from the Trent Beretta stuff now.
No.
He's moved on.
No. Sure, that'll be ongoing. Probably
you think that's going to lead into the Blood and Guts?
I don't think that'll be Blood and Guts.
No, you think the Don Callis family against Cassidy and whoever he teams up with?
No, they won't be in Blood and Guts.
No.
No. Don Callis family won't be in Blood and Guts. It'll be the Elite versus Team AEW.
Another team, though. Not the same team, right?
And the last team, where do they go? They're all injured. I think Zack Sabre Jr. will probably win that. I think by the time he wins, he's lost 2 years now, I think.
Yeah, he needs a win.
Yeah, they should have more.
He should be on AEW a lot more.
Yeah.
If they can get him.
I don't think he wants to live in America though, and he's dead right.
He doesn't need to, but Osprey's not living in
Nobody
America.
should want to live there. It's a terrible place, full of foolish people, very impressionable, angry people, or very malleable people. They just are very reactionary. But anyway,
these things happen. Two people who are not American, Tony Storm and Mina Shirakawa.
Probably why it's very good. Tony Storm will win that, obviously. So
what was this like in person, watching that contract? Was it a contract signing, or was it just
very good? Yeah, it's very good. It's all very good. Even their match on Saturday, the collision then with the tag team match was very good. Yeah, I'm a big fan of this whole act now. Just I think everything's been really, really well done, and it's different. It's building because I don't think. Get me in trouble now. I don't think, generally speaking, broadly across the board, across industry wide, the strength of women's wrestling is as strong as male wrestling currently. I don't think that's going to get me in trouble. But anyway,
no.
I think because AEW is so heavily reliant on the unbelievable technical ability and athleticism and strength of a lot of their male performers, when you compare that with a lot of their women's division, who aren't Tony Storm, who aren't Jamie Hayter, who aren't one or two others, you need to rely on other ways to kind of build up rivalries and people to care about what they're doing. So having this character-driven narrative, and it can be quite hard to get right. And it has been hard to get right. It's hard to get people to tune in and cling on, because when they've done character-driven narratives for different parts of the business, it hasn't been as good because that's not the product they're trying to drive, and it's not the product that the fans want to watch either. But this is done very, very well, and it's done with a wink and a nudge, and it's far smarter than anything you'd find up the road. So it's done very, very well. It's really well presented. Tony Storm will win, of course, and
Mina's not staying around.
Mariah May will do some sort of antics whereby it'll then play into All About Helen, or I think that's the name of the movie, All About Eve.
All About Eve.
All About Eve. She'll play into that narrative now, whereby she starts to turn against Tony Storm, if you know the story, whereby she threatened to throw the towel in last pay-per-view match. This one, she do something else, whereby there'll be a bit of like a tease of tension, maybe the same thing where she actually does throw the towel in or something. And
she might try to use the title and doesn't use the title belt. They had Mina or something.
Like the All About Eve storyline is that whereby the younger actress usurps the older actress, the older starlet. So I think that'll end up with the Owen Hart Foundation tournament on the horizon, where Mariah May's in. That'll end up building towards Mariah May versus Tony Storm at All In.
Yeah, well, like, even during the match with on Collision, it wasn't Collision, was it? Tony was tag. It was a tag team match in Collision, right? They were in a tag team match, and Tony was So Tony was taking all the pressure off Mariah. She was, saving her every chance she got to make it look like Mariah needed her help, even though it seemed like she was doing her, being her friend. Like I think it was more along the lines of she can't do it without me kind of thing.
Yeah.
But what about the Paige, Soraya, and the rest of them involvement? Are they trying to get in on this now before All In?
It's good. I think they've been fed in quite well, and all team seems quite well done. Hardy Cameron's really growing on me, and Jay, fits in like a glove. It's not as good as the Outcast, which didn't really go anywhere that well. I'm quite happy with it. I think it kind of naturally builds to a kind of interim storyline that'll continue through the summer with that post Mina Shirakawa piece, where you'll have Mariah May, Tony Storm, probably somebody else against those three, and then entwine it through the Owen Hart Foundation tournament as you build towards Forbidden Door, or the All In pay at the end of the summer as well. So it makes sense.
The winner of the Owen Hart gets a title shot. Is that correct?
At All In,
So
I think it ended up having Soraya versus Mariah May in Calgary for the final of that. I think one of the two British women will be headlining All In, which will be, of course, Mariah May.
I hope so. That'd be cool.
Yes.
The other women's match on the card, Mercedes Moné against Stephanie Vaquer. Is that Vaquer? Title versus title. Mercedes showed up. I know you're doing your best. If anybody's listening to us on Spotify, Mark is currently doing Mercedes's dance. He's been watching too much Will Ospreay.
I don't get it. I don't really like it, but it's weird and it's hypnotic.
Because you know, just focus on your meditation and breathing and do the dance at the same time.
Exactly.
You're pulling in all the good energy.
How many people do we listen on Spotify? Do we get the good numbers?
Depends on the show. It depends on what we're talking about. Sometimes you
All
could
right.
get
You're not
a
going to get that
lot,
with Colin or Jerry, are you? No.
or Jerry, or do you mean
Corey, yeah.
Corey?
Sorry. Yeah. um,
Title for title, Mercedes showed up in
yeah.
CMML at the weekend, so
So Mercedes is going to win
uh,
this. Obviously.
she's going to be the new belt collector, right?
Yeah, but she's not. See, Stephanie Vicur is not defending her CMLL titles. She's defending her New Japan Women's Strong title, which was designed
Yeah,
for
sorry, yeah.
Mercedes Monet in the first place. So that that's going to feed into then Mercedes Monet being able to travel across to New Japan, Stardom again, and defend her title domestically under the New Japan banner. It's good. Yeah, be good, really good. I've potentially got an interview lined up with Stephanie Vicur this week, but he busted that.
Oh, nice. I hope your Spanish is good.
Sí, señor. Dos cervezas, por favor. Mucho.
Bueno.
Bueno.
Second to last match. I'm not even sure if this is even going to be on the card. It might be a pre-show. No, well, probably might start the show. Ladder match for the vacant TNT title. Currently announced as Takeshita, Mark Briscoe, Jack Perry, Dante Martin, Leo Rush, and to be determined.
2 DVDs.
2 more to be determined.
Yes.
Who do we think is going to get in there? Do you think is any going to be surprised from New Japan, or is it CMML guys or anybody?
I see Jeff Cobb there.
Jeff Cobb. Oh, maybe.
See Jeff Cobb there. You might see a Volador Jr. You might see right. You will see a Volador Jr. Mystico needs to be. I would have thought would be on the card at this stage. Yeah, I'd say you'll have at least one CMLL guy and one New Japan guy. So I would go Jeff Cobb and Mystico. Jeff Cobb is like a base. You can do a lot of crazy shit, and then
you can throw ladders around the people for no reason.
Then
Jack Perry. He has to, really, doesn't he? It'd be stupid if they didn't give it to him at this stage. I know they're probably playing into the whole Dante and Leo Rush thing with the fucking top flight stuff. Story's going to be intertwined in this, so I'm presuming Darius and Action Andretti are going to cost those two the match.
Yeah.
And Briscoe and Takeshita is just going to beat the crap out of each other.
Yeah.
Leaving Jack to climb the ladder. And
I think it'd be Dante Martin would be like, oh, and then Leo Rush will cost him some fashion, and then Jack Perry will take advantage.
Or Dante will be up at the top, and Brock Lesnar's music will hit and come out, and he'll just steal the title. Or Shane McMahon, even. Free agent.
Okay. Brock Lesnar.
Just for...
right. 3-piece sex bets, Brock Lesnar.
He likes Dante, maybe. He likes collecting titles. Just throwback. It's a throwback to the only ladder match he ever had. Anyway. I don't know who's going to come out.
Swerve Strickland.
Come on, Will Ospreay.
Swerve Strickland will win this.
You said this already. I know you said this in person, or we're talking about Swerve joining up with the Don Callis family. Is this something that's
I don't think who said that? Was it Corey?
I'm not sure. I thought you said it.
No, I wouldn't say that. It's so brain dead as that. No.
What's the Don Callis like? When Will Ospreay said he doesn't need the Don Callis family, that normally, in wrestling terminology, leads to
ominous, isn't it? Very ominous.
Well, it's, you don't say you don't need someone.
Yeah.
And then have a main event, and
so you've got Kyle Fletcher, you've got Konosuke Takeshita, Powerhouse obviously injured. You got Trent Beretta. So is there anybody else there? Those three. The tease Roosh midweek.
Possibly a Russian.
That'd be a good four. Like quartet. That'd be a good four there. So
they did.
Roosh costing Will Ospreay would be pretty good. So I think this week they're doing a can they coexist bullshit match, which is the last thing they should be doing. They should have 2 singles matches. And then
who are they facing actually? They're
facing the Gorillas of not the Gorillas of Destiny, the Gates of Agony. The Gorillas of Destiny. How bad is that? Gates of Agony, who I actually think are very good. I'm a massive fan of Bishop Khan. I think he should be.
They keep losing though.
Yeah, well, that's
they're like one match. They won one and then they lose 3, like, or one. or just
Now they're
have no
called when the
contest.
Brian Cage there, they're the Cage of Agony. What happens when Christian Cage is there? Who knows? Yeah.
That's
So
actually he's not on the card. There's no mention of them around this.
no,
Whatever's
he
going
could
on.
be on the TNT match.
Ooh,
But I think I'm just looking at the balance of that card though. So you've got Leo Rush, who's kind of one New Japan guy there. I think you've got we got Takeshi Takeshita, Dante Martin, Jungle Boy. They're three out and out AEW guys. Then you've got Leo Rush. I think you need to fit in a CMLL and probably a New Japan guy there somewhere.
but it's a ladder match, so it's no disqualification.
I
So
know, but I
anybody
think
can get involved.
just for balance. I know, but like it's for just based on the nature of the pay per view. I think it'd be better if they didn't fit everybody in.
Well, they have a partnership, right, with the AVPs, the patriarchy. So there is a chance that they could just do an old callback to Jungle Boy being on fucking Luchasaurus' shoulders, claiming the fucking ladder or letting them
No,
get the title just
no, I
for.
don't think you do anything with Jungle Boy and Christian Cage. You keep them off screen away from each other entirely.
I know, but like they've already had a
No, no,
partnership
no, no, no,
with fucking the
no, no,
EVPs, like
no,
so
no,
it's right
no,
there.
no, 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 no. This is like you talking about the Undertaker at WrestleMania. Now mind that.
What the fuck? Who cares? Has
No,
to
no.
happen. It has to happen.
Pay per views coming down land. No, I don't think Christian Cage will be in the match. I think he'll probably be off the pay per view altogether. I think he'll be the focus of Collision for a few weeks.
It should be the focus of Collision every week, right? It should be the
Yeah, I think
main.
he's just being rotated in and out, and he'll probably have something big for All In now as his next kind of building block.
And what's after that? All In's the next one. There's nothing between
All
Forbidden
In,
Door
and
and
then
all,
there's
right? There's
a 2 week break till All Out. Then
no
and
battle of
then
the belt or anything like that in between, is there?
probably will be. Yeah, they're obviously doing the build to All In, the Road to All In series at the Esports Arena down in Arlington, Texas, by outside Cowboys State.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Which
Yeah,
should be kind of cool. It'll be a different atmosphere, about 2,000 to 3,000 people per show. Which is just different. It's unique. It'll be kind of cool. It might even be like the old Impact Arena, Impact Zone kind of shows, which I like different. Not everything has to
studio
go.
like.
Yeah, but if it's interactive and an esports stadium, you assume it'll be a bit more compact and intimate, and there'll be kind of noise, will be a bit more on top of you. So it'd be different. I kind of want something that's different. I don't want a load of just stadium show or arena show, like 6 in a week. Do you know what I mean? You want something different. It's just something that's well produced and well done. And I think in an esports arena, that'll definitely look better than fucking like the WWE Performance Center on a Tuesday night. Like, so it's something different, something that you make Collision stand out, build a bit of atmosphere, and build a home base in Texas for a while. So you got that. Then you got the Cardiff show. Then you've got All In. So you've got to 2 months.
What's on Dynamite this week? Just to double check to see if there's anything else coming
so
up.
you got the Can They Coexist? You've got a 6-woman tag match. The 2 sets of women from last week. What else do you have? What else do you have, Jerry? Well, in the interest of efficiency and timing,
well, I can edit this out.
okay,
that's not a problem.
God love you.
That's in Buffalo, or yeah.
Buffalo, New York.
Buffalo. There's nobody else on there. We got, oh yeah, sure. The One Heart tournament is on.
So yeah, you've got
Jay White
versus Ray Phoenix. Jay White
yeah.
versus Ray Phoenix. That'd be class.
I thought he was injured. I thought he was still injured.
No, Jay White will win that. Thankfully,
they're not actually. That's something else. Like your mention of the trios titles aren't being defended on the show. There's no mention of the House of Black.
Double J, the last outlaw, Jeff Jarrett will be
yes.
In the Owen Hart this coming weekend against a wild card pick. So we're all gonna have our heart broken this week.
Who's the wild card?
Hangman Page.
Yeah, really?
I think it'll be Hangman Page.
And he's winning that, right?
Hangman will win that. Then he'll get to the final in Calgary against Bryan Danielson. He'll win that. And he'll go down as a heel to face Swerve Strickland and All In. I think that's your best main event you can have.
Yeah, for drama, I know, for passion, and
backstory
for the story.
Yeah, and then I think it's perfect. I think if it's not Hangman Page, I think you do somebody like Thomas Billington, who's really good the other week, or you bring in a Harry Smith.
Yeah, I would like to see somebody from
that'd be cool. You have the two of them. Jeff Jarrett would have to win in that case. Then you bring it to the semi-final, he'd be against Jay White. Don't really want to beat Jay White. I don't want some old guy beating Jay White again, like fuck Billy Gunn. So you gotta and think about it like, okay, Jeff Jarrett win 2 matches, then gets the final against Bryan Danielson, but then you're assuming that Bryan Danielson is going to be against Swerve in the main event of All In. So anyway, there's a lot to consider there. So it all
Would
depends.
you accept that as a main event for All In?
Yeah, but I mean, they're also Swerve's from the northwest of America and Washington State as well.
Yeah.
So I would have assumed that Swerve versus Bryan Danielson might have been Bryan Danielson's last match at Wrestle Dream when they were in Tacoma Dome in Washington.
When is that? What date is?
The end of September.
Right.
I think, or maybe early October. But Wrestle Dream Tacoma Dome. I thought that was good. I thought that'd be the most make sense match. Or you could do Bryan Danielson, Nigel McGuinness there as well. But yeah.
Why are we ever going to get that match?
I don't know. I think poor Nigel's been gagging for it evidently. But anyway.
Not as much as Nigel. Not as much as he's been gagging for a bit of brie cheese.
No, he's not gagging for cheese. Bryan Danielson. I'm lactose intolerant.
Are you?
No, I think it'll be obviously an amazing card. I think this whole week of television is going to be absolutely amazing. We're talking about AEW earlier and Collision last week not being great, and it's usually followed by something absolutely fantastic. And I think that Jeff Jarrett match, something that AEW have been doing unbelievably well the last few weeks that they haven't got their flowers for is the production and their video packaging and the way that telling stories, the camera. I think the way they've been doing it, it's been absolutely outstanding. But there's too many e-bots and drones online to pay attention.
That's your last chance now to defend them. What happened? What happened with the ratings this week? I don't give a fuck about them, but everybody's talking about them, how bad they were.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really know. I mean, there's a million and one things that happened in terms of externally. Yeah, there usually is a number of different things. It just happened, but it was also an incredibly good show. Which usually means that like we followed by a higher rating but a worse show. So it's hard to know. It's but also there was a big thing that people were posting online midweek was around a discussion between an ESPN and Disney executive. When they're talking about TV rights renewals, networks do not care whatsoever about ratings, which seemed kind of counterintuitive to me. Like, how do you place a value on a show without ratings and the money the ratings draw for ad value? So it was just a funny intake that like they were talking about different metrics they looked at, which wasn't clear. But anyway, I don't know. I mean,
that's it, lads. That's the show. Mark has gone on his little rant there. We'll see how he gets on with his predictions for Forbidden Door. It should be a good show. This show will be out anyway. As we're recording, it's going to be out before Dynamite anyway. So, if you're watching Dynamite tonight, let us know how you think it's going to go. Let us know your predictions for Forbidden Door. Who you think's going to show up, who you think's going to win, who's going on to main event All In. If you're going to All In, let us know if you're going. We will be there. We'll be doing stuff over there. Hopefully we'll both be at the Collision. It's Dynamite. It's a double taping, right? That Cardiff show, so it's going to be a long fucking show as well, right?
Yeah.
Because I'm presuming they're going to be
Rampage as well.
Rampage. Maybe a couple of episodes of fucking Ring of Honor, maybe beforehand or something. I don't know.
Pints.
What's occurring?
Cardiff is unbelievable night out. So much better than London. Anyway.
Yeah. Anyway, lads, we'll see you probably next week after Forbidden Door if we get a chance to stay up and watch it, fall asleep for 3 days after watching it, and eventually get a chance to record something. So see you later, lads. Thanks for tuning in.